Every assassin we know was once a student, and every student was once guided by a mentor. These mentors are the ones who shape them, not just teach them, give them a home, a purpose, and the creed itself. But training alone isn't enough. A true mentor molds both the body and the mind, leaving a mark that can reform the creed. In this video, we're diving deep into all the mentors featured across the Assassin's Creed games, analyzing their feats and their influence. And by the end, we'll tell you who's the greatest mentor in the entire series. So sit back, relax, and let's begin. Let's start with one of the lesser known figures, Yusuf Tazim. He first appeared in Assassin's Creed Revelations as a supporting character. Interestingly, he wasn't originally introduced as a mentor. In fact, he was presented more as a master assassin, perhaps to give Ezio the respect he deserved. Or maybe just as a narrative guide. Whatever the reason, this doesn't take away the fact that he did act as a mentor. Yusuf taught Ezio the basics of the Ottoman assassins. He gave him the hook blade, showing him the ropes of this new environment. In many ways, he functioned almost like a tutorial character, helping both Ezio and the players understand the essentials of the Ottoman Brotherhood. Looking a bit deeper into his backstory, Yusuf succeeded Ishaq Pasha, who had been the mentor of the Ottoman assassins before him. Ishaq never physically appeared in the game, but his influence is felt in his armor, which we can collect in-game. It also suggests that he likely died of natural causes. Yusuf, on the other hand, had been raising and guiding Ezio from a young age.
What?
Ezio from a young age.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
And is portrayed as charismatic, full of life, and deeply passionate about his work. He becomes serious when the need arises, giving his all to the cause. But here's the problem. As a mentor, Yusuf falls short. He depends heavily on Ezio to get the job done, often acting more like a sidekick than a guiding force. The Ottoman assassins were struggling for power until Ezio arrived, and for most of the story, Yusuf doesn't introduce anything new to the Creed or the Brotherhood. The only notable moment of independence for him comes when Ezio leaves for Cappadocia, and when he returns, Yusuf is already dead. A likable and charming character, yes, but not a great mentor. His mentorship was limited, and he ultimately didn't leave a lasting mark on the Creed. Akin to Yusuf Tazim, Pierre Bellec is officially a master assassin, which technically means he shouldn't even be on a mentor's list. The character who arguably could have filled that role was Mirabeau, the true mentor of the French assassins. But neither Mirabeau's personality nor his physical presence screamed mentor. He was little more than a side character of a side character. This leaves Bellec. For beginners, he serves as our mentor figure in Assassin's Creed Unity. He trains Arno, teaches him about the Assassins and Templars, and plays a major role in shaping his early life. Without Bellec, Arno likely wouldn't have survived the prison. He literally keeps the young assassin alive. Bellec is a man marked by anger and hatred, particularly towards the Templars, and understandably so. In the chaos of the colonial assassin purge in Assassin's Creed Rogue, he witnessed the destruction of his comrades and the burning of their homestead firsthand. Any person in his place would feel the same. His methods are ruthless, he's well trained, well equipped, and capable, but his emotions often dictate his actions. In his fear that the Templars and Assassins might form even a temporary truce, Bellec poisoned Mirabeau, effectively placing himself next in command of the Brotherhood. But here's a problem. A true mentor must consider all consequences. Bellec's decision, whether intentional or reckless, put the Assassins at risk and arguably set them back for years. Killing an experienced assassin within your own Brotherhood is no small matter. Loyalty to the cause is one thing, but overstepping that boundary crosses into betrayal. Bellec was devoted to the Assassin Brotherhood, yes, but his personal vendetta clouded his judgment, and in doing so, he became as dangerous to his own as the enemies he fought. You might not even remember him when thinking about Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, but Tabai is easily one of the most underrated mentor figures in the franchise. He was a mentor of the West Indies branch of the Assassins, a figure of immense importance in the Brotherhood's history. Under his guidance, countless students were trained, including Adewale, Mary Read, Achilles, and even Edward Kenway himself. What makes him remarkable is his stability and fairness. He trained students regardless of their race or religion, molding them all into true assassins. His hideout hidden deep in the wilderness reflected the assassin's code of secrecy and discipline, a place where knowledge could be passed safely and without interference. You might say that his assassin didn't stand a chance against Edward, and you'd be right. But Edward wasn't ordinary. He had eagle vision, mastered countless techniques across his pirate life, and knew ways to exploit weaknesses in others' defenses. The only reason Tabai's base was compromised was Edward's betrayal, selling the maps to the Templars and possibly knowing secret entry points. Yet even after this, Tabai didn't give up on him. He took him in, trained him, and even later delivered Edward's wife's final letter, proving his unwavering dedication and integrity. Though he wasn't the main character, Tabai is arguably the true embodiment of the Assassin's Creed code. Calm, composed, wise, and a natural leader. If he had been given more screen time or story depth, he would have shined as one of the greatest mentors in the entire series. The first impression of this character? She's a smoker, because of her voice carrying that sharp edge.
2 of my best men died in this pursuit. I doubt a street thief would fare much better.
Though the actress behind her has a strong portfolio. Unlike the other mentors we've mentioned, she predates Altair, which means her methods and mindset are more traditional than modern. She embodies the early ways of the Hidden Ones before the Assassin Brotherhood fully evolved. Like Pierre Bellec, she isn't officially titled a mentor, but make no mistake, her role was no less significant. She trained countless recruits, teaching them free-running, stealth, and even some combat techniques. Yet she wasn't the perfect teacher. Take Basim for example. She trained him, yes, but she kept him in the dark about his true heritage. Instead of guiding and comforting him, she fed him misinformation to silence him, delaying his understanding of his true identity. Her fear of what might happen if he discovered the truth ultimately cost the Brotherhood dearly, nearly leading to its downfall. Without Basim, the Hidden Ones might have been destroyed. She may regret her mistakes later on, but from our perspective, she wasn't the most ideal mentor. In her time, the Hidden Ones were developing, lagging behind the Assassins in both philosophy and method. Still, in terms of loyalty and dedication, she stands out as one of the most committed and faithful members of the Hidden Ones. A mentor who gave everything she had, even if it wasn't perfect. You might remember him as the worst mentor and, frankly, a disgrace to his own mentor, Tabai. As we mentioned earlier, Achilles was trained by Tabai and sent to the 13 colonies to establish a brotherhood there. On paper, he succeeded in recruiting talented assassins like Shay, Liam, Hope, and others. But his methods were questionable. He even allied with local gangs, a step that led to numerous conflicts and blurred the lines between the assassin's purpose and personal power. Under Achilles, the Brotherhood began to prioritize control over Pieces of Eden, above everything else, believing that the more artifacts they protected, the more people they saved. This obsession blinded them to reality. Shay warned them of the dangers of such a philosophy, but Achilles ignored him and the result was catastrophic. By the time he realized his mistakes, it was far too late. Achilles isn't remembered as a great mentor because he directly caused the fall of the Colonial Brotherhood, and in a way, shaped Pierre Bellec's approach in the future. Witnessing the destruction of his own branch firsthand left a deep mark on the assassin lineage. In short, Achilles was a failed mentor. He broke the tenets, disrespected the creed, and let ambition cloud his judgment. And don't expect him to be celebrated as the best. He serves more as a cautionary tale of how not to lead. The founder of the Assassins, or rather the Hidden Ones, is one of the most beloved characters in the entire series. What makes Bayek the remarkable one is his humble nature and unwavering devotion to the cause. He was the first official mentor figure in the Brotherhood, though he would never accept being called superior over everyone else. He remained in the shadows until the very end, strictly following every tenet and ensuring that no one would be considered above the creed. But being the first came with limitations. As the original mentor, his flexibility was restricted. He introduced the foundational tenets, the ranking system, and even the colors of the Brotherhood, reflecting that the organization was still building itself. Nothing is perfect from day one, and he simply laid the groundwork for the generations to come. His past as a Medjay gave him empathy for the people, which shaped him into the leader he became. As we see in the Hidden Ones DLC, mistakes were made. They were still learning and still growing. Being the founder doesn't automatically make you the greatest mentor, but in terms of vision, dedication, and integrity, he remains one of the finest mentors in the Assassin's Creed universe. Now we come to the most famous assassin ever, Ezio Auditore. Many fans consider him the best mentor, and it's not just because of his popularity, skills, or charisma. It's because of his leadership. When Ezio was first inducted into the Brotherhood, he was just a young boy driven by revenge, knowing nothing of the assassin way. Over time, he learned more about the Assassins and Templars, developing a mature, composed personality that would define his aura. He followed in Altair's footsteps, and in Assassin's Creed 2, he began rebuilding the Brotherhood and dismantling the Templar influence across Italy. He freed captured assassins, eliminated countless Templars, and restored hope to a Brotherhood that had been lost for ages. Ezio's first step was rebuilding the villa, the main base of the assassins. But when it fell and his uncle died, Ezio took control and freed the city of Rome, the heart of Templar corruption. He completely removed the Borgia influence and began recruiting civilians, training them into fully fledged assassins, and sending them on missions across Italy and beyond. He didn't just fight Templars locally, he expanded the reach of the Brotherhood globally. And unlike many mentors we've discussed, Ezio directly participated in missions, taking down powerful war machines and eliminating threats that could have shifted the balance in favor of the Templars. Better yet, he achieved all this before officially becoming a mentor. And once he gained the formal rank, Ezio had the support of the entire Brotherhood. He led the final charge against Cesare and dismantled the Templars in Italy for years to come, possibly generations to come, all while following Altair's teachings. In Assassin's Creed Revelations, Ezio reached Constantinople and found the city under Templar control. He freed districts, trained locals to the rank of Master Assassin, and systematically eliminated Templars there as well. In short, Ezio's contributions went beyond what even his successors could achieve. He wasn't just a teacher, he was a leader, a warrior, and a visionary, shaping the Brotherhood for a generation. Plus, we don't call him fearless for no reason. Now we arrive at the man you've all been waiting for, Altair Ibn La Ahad. Altair is the assassin that the entire Brotherhood looks up to. And for a good reason. He was the only assassin to rise to the rank of Master at just 24 years of age. And a few years later, he became a mentor. Once in charge, Altair faced rebellion and internal strife, yet he never wavered. He stayed with his brothers, introduced critical reforms, and sought peace with rivals wherever possible, ensuring that innocent lives were spared. He abolished blind faith in outdated rituals, most notably the ring finger sacrifice, and wrote the Codex, paving the way for modern assassins. He also transformed the Brotherhood from a public, dagger-in-broad-daylight organization into a secretive, disciplined order, allowing them to operate unseen and unhindered throughout history. With access to first civilization technology, he foresaw future threats and prepared the Brotherhood accordingly, crafting armors, weapons, and even firearms, all meticulously documented in the Codex. He didn't just strengthen his own Brotherhood, he spread its teachings worldwide, emphasizing secrecy, freedom, and the creed above all else. In short, he dedicated his entire life from beginning to end to the assassins, even dying in his assassin robes as a testament to his devotion. He was a nightmare for the Templars, eliminating tyrants, dismantling major threats, and leaving behind knowledge that even Ezio would later seek. Now that we've gone through every mentor who played a prominent role in the games, examined their feats, and analyzed their contributions, it's time to answer the question, who is the best one? For us, the answer is one-liner. Altair Ibn La Ahad. He was the pillar of the assassins, and without him, there would be no balance and no structure. He perfected what Bayek laid down, creating a disciplined, secretive, and far-reaching Brotherhood that valued freedom above all else, hence ensuring the survival and prosperity of the creed. And with this, lads, the video comes to an end. We hope you guys enjoyed it, as a lot of time and research gets put into making such kind of videos. So the least you can do is give us a big thumbs up, as it will be much appreciated, and we'll see you in the next one. Till then, take care and goodbye.